Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. I'm literally just jumping onto this right now. I'm doing my research while I'm recording. I really hope this is not true. If this is true, I don't know. I gotta look it up actually. I'm doing my research right now, so give me just a minute. There's no fucking way. Fast Company, Fox News, Fox Orlando. Whatever. Okay. Casey Anthony launches TikTok Substack to advocate for daughter she was accused of killing. Casey Anthony, who's acquitted in her daughter Kaylee's death, says she intends to help others with legal issues. America's Most Hated Mom, Casey Anthony, is now promoting a new video series on TikTok in which she intends to speak about legal issues and advocate for her daughter Kaylee, whom she was accused of killing in 2008. Anthony, now 38, was accused of killing her 2-year-old daughter in 2008, but has alleged that her father is the real perpetrator. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series I am starting, Anthony said in March 1st video. So this is like a few days ago. Posted on TikTok, I am a legal advocate. I'm a researcher. I have been in the legal field since 2011. In this capacity, I feel that it's necessary if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. She continued, for those of you who don't know my name, it's Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. The whole point is this is for the begin to reintroduce myself. This is real. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. Casey Anthony was found guilty of lying to law enforcement, but not guilty for the murder charges. I remember that whole thing went down. I remember my mom was crying. This is fucking blowing my mind right now. There's no way. What's this TikTok called? Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I remember this story through and through. And everybody was not happy when she was found not guilty. Just give me the video.
More than 16 years after she was accused of murdering her own daughter.
This is my first of probably many recordings.
Casey Anthony is reintroducing herself to the public on TikTok.
I am a legal advocate.
Without providing much detail, the now 38-year-old says she wants to use her platform to help others in a legal capacity.
I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter.
Casey also directing followers to new posts on the publishing platform Substack.
As a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008.
The TikTok video quickly racking up millions.
Oh my God, it's just called Casey Anthony. Is this her? 1.3 million views. This is definitely her.
Today is Saturday, March 1st.
What are you doing? For one, nobody believed that you were innocent in this case. Trying to reintroduce yourself?
2025. This is my first of probably many recordings on a series that I'm starting.
Oh.
I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011. And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary, if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate, that I start to advocate for myself and also advocate for my daughter. For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done. That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. So
Nobody wants you. Nobody wants anything to do with you. I'm just blown away that she's even attempting. Like, that's what's blowing my mind. I can't even believe what I'm watching right now. She's really trying to attempt to get out there in society. Like not just society. She's trying to get out there on social media, stating that you're Casey Anthony. My daughter was Kaylee Anthony. It's like, you realize everybody was pissed when you were found not guilty. Unbelievable.
So with that, please join me on Substack. If you have questions, I will set up an email address where we can correspond directly. Up until this point, that has never happened. And it's only going to be on a limited basis regarding legal issues, legal matters. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur. And when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights, I feel that it's important that I use this platform that was thrust upon me and now look at as a blessing as opposed to the curse that it has been since 2008. With that, these aren't going to be perfect. They're not going to be edited. Most of the time, they're not going to be short. But I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact. So you will get very comfortable with my car. And
nobody's gonna, I'm sorry to say this, nobody's gonna get comfortable. The only reason why they're even gonna come over here is to just tell you to get the hell out of here. I don't see this going good for you at all. And nobody wants your advice. Nobody. Drugged, wasn't she? Duct taped and all of that stuff? And then left for dead out in the wild? Like she was drugged and that killed her and because she wanted to go to a party, if I'm not mistaken, Casey Anthony? It's been forever since I've actually delved into this conversation of Casey Anthony. Was an American toddler who lived in Orlando, Florida with her mother, Casey Marie Anthony, born on March 19th, 1986. Her maternal grandparents, George and Cindy Anthony, on July 15th. According to what Cindy told police dispatchers, Casey had given varied explanations as were Kaylee's whereabouts before eventually saying she had not seen her daughter in weeks. Casey later called police and falsely told a dispatcher that Kaylee had been kidnapped by a nanny on June 9th. Casey was charged with first-degree murder on October 2008 and pleaded not guilty. On December 11th, 2008, Kaylee's skeletal remains were found in a blanket inside a laundry bag in the wooded area near the Anthony family residence. Investigate reported in trial testimony had been duct tape being found near in front of the mouth of the skull. The medical examiner listed Kaylee's cause of death was homicide by under state of Florida sought the death penalty in case of Casey Anthony. Relying largely on circumstantial evidence, the prosecution alleged Casey wished herself free and parental responsibility to murder her daughter and administering chloroform and applying duct tape to her nose and mouth. Casey's defense team, led by, it's pretty sure that's what I thought happened. I'm pretty sure she was going out or doing something with somebody. She got off for everything. Do you know how crazy that is? She got off for everything. The prosecution alleged Casey wished to free herself from parental responsibilities and murdered her daughter by administering chloroform and applying duct tape to her nose and mouth. Casey's defense team, led by Jose Baez, chiefly focused on challenging the prosecution's evidence, calling much of it fantasy forensics. The defense stated that Kaylee had drowned accidentally in the family swimming pool and that George had disposed of the body on July 5th, 2011. A jury found Casey not guilty of first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, and aggravated manslaughter of a child, but guilty of 4 misdemeanor counts of providing false information to a law enforcement officer. With credit of the time served, Casey was released on July 17, 2011. A Florida appellate court overturned 2 of the misdemeanor convictions on January 25th, 2013.
It's not just important to public figures.
So I thought, Lisa Marie, you went clubbing when your daughter was missing. Girl, there's no testimony for you. She went clubbing. There's no way she was not responsible in some way. There's absolutely no way.
Startled, my parents playing peekaboo and I freak out. But then all of that changed when I watched the first Pokemon movie and Ash Ketchum turned to stone. I knew in that moment that I had to be better. I had to expect the unexpected. And since that day, I've never been surprised. Until today, that is.
Yeah.
Casey Anthony announced that she's going to become an influencer. Yeah, the Casey Anthony. You know, the one that murdered her daughter? Yeah, she has come out of the shadows to become an influencer, and she made a big video about it. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'm not here just to
No, like I'm genuinely there with you. When I heard, I was like, "You're fucking kidding me."
regurgitate what I feel most of you know about the Casey Anthony case. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I highly recommend watching some videos or researching it because it is one of the most deplorable miscarriages of justice since the OJ trial. It is still infuriating.
We're sweat to death. Okay. Today is Saturday, March 1st, 2025. This is my first of...
It's almost like the way she's acting. It's like the way she's acting right now. Sorry. The way she's acting right now almost makes me think she already knew that she was going to get so much backlash just for even making this video. Like breathing heavy and stuff. Like the sense of nervousness, like this could be a bad idea. Oh, you have no idea how stupid this is.
Probably many recordings.
Hopefully this is not the first of many videos, Casey.
You know shit.
Hopefully this is the last one. Maybe the case just gets reopened spontaneously so justice can finally be served for when you killed your daughter.
Yeah, that'd be actually fucking nice. God, if my mom found out about this, she'd be livid. He's right. One of the biggest injustices I've ever seen. I knew how big of an injustice it was, and I wasn't even all that old. She was so guilty on so many things. Unbelievable.
That'd be hopeful. Also, if you're gonna film a video, can you at least take it off of like this slant? It looks like I'm falling down like a fucking water slide trying to watch this. Got the goddamn audience with the drunk goggles on here trying to see whatever you're yapping about. Like, why would you even film a video when it's like this? All cattywampus and shit.
On a series that I'm starting. I am a legal advocate. I am a researcher. I've been in the legal field since 2011.
Really? That's a big statement. In the legal field since 2011, eh? What happened in 2011, Casey? Oh my god. It's just kind of sickening because she's just gloating about it. This is like a victory lap about how she got away with murder and now all of a sudden she's a crack shot legal advocate. I already said I wasn't just going to yap about her case directly, but I can't help it since she just kind of brought this up here. She didn't do shit. Her lawyer worked her like a goddamn flesh puppet like it was a ventriloquism act. Her lawyer is an evil mastermind who was able to convince a jury of lobotomites that they had been emotionally compromised by everything they had been hearing throughout the trial. Meanwhile, he was emotionally manipulating the jury to throw doubt in there so that way they would reach this impossible verdict. He pulled off the most outrageous Hail Mary. Casey didn't do shit. She also got very lucky that for some reason her searches weren't really used in court, such as things like foolproof suffocation methods. Casey Anthony is not some fucking Phoenix Wright level legal advocate. Her lawyer is the one that made the deal with the devil to get her acquitted on this.
And in this capacity, I feel that it's necessary if I'm going to continue to operate appropriately as a legal advocate that I start to advocate for myself.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
And
Big
also
two
advocate
thumbs
for my
down,
daughter.
yeah.
For those of you who don't know, my name is Casey Anthony. My daughter is Kaylee Anthony. My parents are George and Cindy Anthony. This is not about them. This is not in response to anything that they have said or done.
And then to say that she was going to probably make responses to them.
That's not to say that I'm not going to respond at some point to some of the things that they have said and done. The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself.
Like introducing poop to a toilet. This is not the first time she's tried to reintroduce herself. She should be reintroducing herself to a prison cell for murdering her daughter. She did try and get her name back out there a few years ago with a Peacock docuseries called Casey Anthony Where the Truth Lies, I think is what it was. And it was her telling her side of things. And to me, it feels like she uses her name and infamy as a money-making tool.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, I don't want to mention this person because I feel like it'd be kind of wrong to compare the two. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, recently, she got real quiet. And I think the reason why she got very quiet was because of all the heat she was receiving once she tried to make like she pretty much was responsible for the murder of her mom. Even though her mom was not a good person by any means, she was then trying to bank off of this whole idea. I felt bad for her at first, but it rubbed me the wrong way the more she decided to like put herself out there like a celebrity. That really did not sit well with me personally. And this person now is trying to become an influencer on social media. This individual, Casey Anthony. I'm not going to watch this entire video, but I think you get my opinion. The second I even heard that she was even out there doing this, I didn't know she actually made a documentary series trying to explain her side of things. I didn't know, and I'd probably never watch it, to be honest, because to me it was so blatantly obvious how guilty she really was, and the fact that she got away with it infuriates, I think, not only me but so many people. Yeah, it would be kind of amazing if it did get brought back up and maybe actual justice is served. So why don't we get back to talking about you then and how guilty you really are in the murder of your daughter, if you really want to get back into the conversation. Absolutely infuriating stuff. I need to know what you guys think in the comments section. Are you just as mind blown as I am right now? That's it, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Do take care. Absolutely mind blowing.
Throwing down, coming after me if you can't stay.